On this beautiful sunny Wednesday, 15th of April, 2026, tax day here in America. Americans must complete their taxes by today at the federal and state level or risk paying a fine. Indeed. Well, I got my taxes turned in. You get until April 15th every year, unless it's on a weekend, then it's extended for the next business day or a holiday. So, well, it wouldn't be a holiday, it'd be a business day, weekend. But it's tax day, and people have got to turn in their tax paperwork. As I said, I've already turned mine in. So that's good news for me. If there's some noise in the background, my apologies. It may be a lawnmower that's out here. The live chat on there. Okay, welcome to you. All right, at least one person is here. Just one person. It's an audience of one and myself. Good to see you there, Joe. Yeah, this is unannounced. It's I've got Ronaldo at the top of the next hour. So we're trying to knock this one out and get some news in before we get to the next hour. And again, I apologize if this lawnmower comes by, but it's super annoying. He keeps coming by and running passes instead of focusing one area. He wants to do this whole stretch. So every 90 seconds or so, he pops up here and he's quite loud. But big news out of South Africa, where the sentencing hearing for Julius Malema, the firebrand race hustling leader of the economic imbeciles, freedom fighters, that is, has been at his sentencing hearing in East London in South Africa. The state has requested a 15-year custodial sentence. Let me put that in American English, a 15-year prison sentence. So the Anglophone world, they want. Prosecutor Joel Caesar said that it's an appropriate sentence, and I agree. Julius Malema is a convicted criminal, and he sits in Parliament despite being a convicted criminal. He's also a danger to public safety. The man has presented himself as such. And I agree with the prosecutor that a 15-year sentence is warranted. A lot of people are concerned that should he receive a prison sentence, that this will lead to chaos in South Africa. I'm not of the same opinion. I believe that the bottom line here is that Malema deserves this custodial sentence for his reckless endangerment of public safety. Yes, I know about the Shabir Sheikh thing, Fonz, but Shabir Sheikh was tied to the leader of the country, and therefore he was given a free pass. With his terminal disease, 15 years ago, he's been out playing golf ever since then. Julius Malema actually is detested by Jacob Zuma, and he's not even in power anyway. It's Ramaphosa who hates him even more. So we'll see what happens, but the state is calling for a 15-year custodial sentence. And one can hope that this man gets an example. At least he gets more than 12 months, which will make him eligible to serve in South Africa's parliament. I'm raising your hopes, but you like my thinking. Well, I'm not raising your hopes. I'm just saying that this is what the state's calling for. We know that in many instances, the outcomes, the sentencing and the convictions and non-convictions in South Africa's courts raise eyebrows and are questionable at best, leading many of us to wonder if some of the people in the judiciary system aren't captured. I can't say that here. We'll see. I would be surprised if he gets a jail sentence, but it's warranted. The man has committed multiple offenses. He's a convicted criminal, a felon who belongs in prison. He's a danger to public safety, and he's a threat to the entire country. And therefore, he should long ago have been put in prison for his incitements to violence. Okay, who is that? Someone just landed here in the States. Congratulations. Is it Heinrich? Welcome to America, Heinrich. Okay, first off, you are overstating. He doesn't have millions of fanatical followers. Julius Malema does not have millions of followers. The EFF got under 2 million votes in this last election. And most of those people aren't fanatical. Most of them are just poor and frustrated. And someone tells them it's white man's fault, so they join this party. The number of fanatical followers is actually small. I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, Heinrich, I see it. You've written it twice now. No need to do it twice. Okay, so yeah, I do not foresee a major problem. Yes, there will be probably some nonsense outside the court in East London, but that should be the extent of most of it. Well, I agree, Fonz. He's a criminal. He should not even be in Parliament. He should have been suspended from Parliament the moment he was convicted. The fact that he's sitting there just shows that South Africa's judicial system is a joke. It's an absolute joke. This is a man who is overseeing public hearings on appointment of judges and asking for their loyalty, not their jurisprudence. This is dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of people, lead convoys and honk horns if he gets a jail sentence. He belongs in jail. That's where he should be. There's no question about that. The man is a reckless endangerment to society. His race hustling, his nonsensical, idiotic rantings have no positive impact on the country. They simply leave South Africa in a state of chaos. If you've applied for refugee status, I don't answer refugee questions, this is the news, but if you applied for refugee status last year in February, first off, you didn't apply. I'm going to entertain this one question because I don't want you to be stuck. But this is not a refugee conversation. I don't know why you're asking me refugee questions. How many times do people have to say that? Where are my moderators? But I will entertain this one refugee question. If you sent a PRM email in February last year and you've done nothing since then, you haven't been contacted, then you're not listening to me. And you have put yourself in a very bad situation. No reason to apologize. No reason to apologize. You probably didn't know. But I'm not sure why people start asking things unrelated. It's a news program. So to answer your question, if you do not do an intake questionnaire and you've never been contacted, you will never be contacted, my friend. Never be contacted. Since the 4th of November, when the State Department announced this, I immediately told people what the embassy website said. If you've done a PRM email and a statement of interest, you still must do an intake questionnaire or you will never be contacted. So if you have never done an intake questionnaire, I would recommend doing it. But no one applied in February last year. That's why I make this differentiation, this distinction. Last year in February, you sent an email that said you're interested in the program. That's all you did. There's no application. Then the U.S. Embassy came up with a statement of interest. The statement of interest is also not an application. The closest thing to an application is the intake questionnaire. If you have not done the intake questionnaire since November 4th, unfortunately, you've squandered several months. All right? And that goes for everyone here. I figure there might be more than one person this situation applies to. That's why I entertained this question. Once I finish with the news, we can talk about refugee stuff. But I went ahead and did that, okay? What do you all fully agree with Worn Out? I don't get that. What has Worn Out said? Okay, you're welcome for the response. Let's hold the questions about refugees until after the news, please. Let's have a little respect for people who came for the news. It's a short news broadcast. I'm only going to have about a half hour because I got to do Ronaldo. And I wish the hell this lawnmower would finish cutting the grass because it's unbelievably annoying. Now he's going to be back here. He's going to ruin my program. When I go on Ronaldo, I'll be able to focus because he won't be behind me. Yeah, he is a criminal. He belongs in jail. He's committed so many other crimes he's never been charged with or convicted of, and that's really sad. But he has been convicted. He's a convicted felon, and he needs to be in prison to learn a lesson. We'll see what the courts decide. The EFF is claiming he's being railroaded, but that's nonsense. So let's move on from that. I want to talk about a couple of news items here. In Iran, the Iranian government is living in a fantasy land. They are just being obstinate, and they're going to wind up seeing more bombs fall in their country if they keep up their current behavior. That will happen. The ceasefire has just a week left in it, and they're not cooperating. Wow, a lot quieter without that lawnmower here. Iran is comically demanding that the U.S. and Israel pay $270 billion in reparations for war damage. Well, I'm going to up the ante, and I'm going to demand through the United Nations $1 trillion in compensation for the victims of Iran's terror for the past 47 years. $1 trillion. That will include compound interest. I would like that $1 trillion to be paid out to the victims of their terrorism. Part of that money should be set aside for economic compensation for damages to the rest of us from when they attacked oil tankers in the 1980s. So there you go. You can't hear the lawnmower. Well, I can't. Well, he's gone now. But it's very hard for me to hear and concentrate. So I demand $1 trillion from Iran in compensation for their criminal actions, their support for state terrorism, the carnage they've caused in the Red Sea, in Yemen, in Gaza, pollen, and in Lebanon, as well as the Arabian Gulf. So they can demand in one hand and they can take a dump in the other hand. We'll see which hand gets full first. Definitely the hand that gets a dump in. They are not getting compensation for their stupidity. Now, turning your attention to South Africa, some critics are saying that South Africa's Democratic Alliance new leader, Jordan Hill Lewis, his decision to not participate in the what's this? I believe that he should receive a life sentence. In reality, we know it will happen. We'll be happy if it's a 10-year sentence. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll be happy to see if we see any custodial sentence, or they'll say 6 months, he'll appeal it, and he'll never go to jail. Yeah, that's my concern. So you're right. Thank you for the super chat very much. I appreciate that. Condebrun. So the argument is that Jordan Hill Lewis, by not participating in the cabinet, is losing influence with the government of South Africa. I would argue that the Democratic Alliance has no influence in the government of National Unity, despite their protestations to the contrary. So let me ask you this question. If the Democratic Alliance claims that they have influence in this government, oh, he's coming back now. He's back there. If the Democratic Alliance claims that they have influence with the government of National Unity, then I suppose we can blame them for expropriation without compensation, the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act, the National Health Insurance Communist takeover of private health care, the Employment Equity Act, the racist legislation there, and the denial of farm murders. We can lay all of that at the foot of the Democratic Alliance. If they're claiming they have influence within the government of National Unity, then they're responsible for these things that are being promulgated on their watch. Would you agree or disagree? I would say that that's the situation, that they are responsible for those things if they claim that they have influence. Now, let's go back to the whole situation with a party leader in opposition occupying a cabinet role. In the first place, Jordan Hill Lewis is not a member of parliament, but the DA can easily fix that. They fire one of their people and put him in their place because you don't get to pick your leaders. It's a corrupt system of party hacks who decide who sits in parliament. But would you just move that damn thing, for God's sake? He's sitting there he's not mowing, he's just sitting there, picking his nose or something. Anyway, so Jordan Hill Lewis is not in parliament, so normally he couldn't even be a cabinet member, but the president has the discretion to pick, I think, two members of his cabinet that don't have to be in parliament, so he could be not in cabinet, but be a member of the parliament. Or not be in parliament, but be a member of the cabinet, excuse me. All this damn noise is distracting. Also, somebody's driving down a one-way road. That's interesting. All kinds of crazy stuff. That truck can't go that way. Well, I guess he can go to right there. Yeah, he can go 30 meters, then he has to turn. He just went down a one-way street. He just drove down a one-way street. Anyway, so he went past that point. So Jordan Hill Lewis should not be in the cabinet because he's a party leader, and party leaders should not fill that role. I said the same thing of Peter Groenewald and John Steenhuisen. I said they should focus on leading their parties and not take cabinet positions. Peter Groenewald stepped aside when it was time for re-election, and Corné Mulder was elected to that role. So Peter Groenewald is simply a minister now, which is fine. He already has two hats, member of parliament and a minister for corrections. Jordan Hill Lewis is the mayor of Cape Town, and he intends to retain his position as mayor of Cape Town. This is foolhardy. His attention should be focused on Cape Town, not Pretoria. Well, actually not Pretoria, but it's also in Cape Town where the parliament is. So this is problematic. He's the leader of a party. He should be focused on that, or he should be the mayor of Cape Town, not both. So this is just not right. Who doesn't live where? All right. Scar and Tabani, a mainstay of Western Province of the Stormers for year after year after year. 35-year-old Scar and Tabani will likely play his final game in the blue and white hoops on Saturday. He's hanging up his socks and his cleats after a storied career. We've lost the past year, this year, Brock Harris last year, the game that I was at when he was injured. He bravely soldiered off the field when they tried to bring a stretch out for him. Brock Harris, his career ended after a storied career with the Stormers and Western Province, and now Scar Tabani will also be leaving. Scar, fortunately, did get a cap as a Springbok back in 2019, just one cap, so he can end his career as a Springbok as well. Oh, you are hearing the lawnmowers now. Now there's two of them. As if one was enough, now we got two. I can't go over there because it's too hot in the sun. All right. So now there's one, there's two over here. I'm on my break. All right. I really can't work like this. It's very frustrating. More news. This one will make Ronaldo Huz pretty happy. Mama Joy will be going to the FIFA World Cup. Yep, Mama Joy will be going to the FIFA World Cup. She has, yeah, but I can't focus. It's very distracting. No, they're doing their job. I'm not angry with them. They're doing their job, but it's just very distracting and frustrating for me. There's a Dutch officer, and where's he from? Georgia, I think. Anyway, students going back from their lunch break. All right, so Mama Joy will be going to FIFA World Cup. At least that's what she claims. She's gotten a sponsorship from Above Normal, an African sports apparel company or something like that. So she's going as a brand ambassador for them, but not for South Africa. So my question is, Mama Joy, do you have a visa to come to America? Do you have a visa? Now, the media, News 24, presented this as news, but it was opinion, and it was asinine opinion, where the so-called journalist said that Gate McKenzie inappropriately commented about this. Gate McKenzie didn't inappropriately comment about this. Gate McKenzie said she's not going on the taxpayer's dime. So Mama Joy is out, ladies and gentlemen. Mama Joy is out. You say the people that believe that he's going to jail, the same people believe that South Africa can be fixed. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I don't know that South Africa can be fixed. I'm not claiming it is, and I'm hoping that he gets a jail sentence because it's appropriate. A warning must be sent to other actors. We already have this deputy mayor in the Western Cape who fired a sidearm into the air to celebrate her son's Costa initiation ceremonies. Stupid people should not be put anywhere near the halls of power, and Malema is one of those stupid people. I know you can't hear them. I can. They're all so far away now. They keep coming back. Anyway, so yeah, that's the situation. Mama Joy is going to go to the World Cup, but I don't know if she even has a visa to come to America. So I think she's probably forgot about that. But if this corporation is sponsoring her, they'll probably make it possible for her to get the visa. But yeah, so the racist who attacked Ronaldo Huz, the black supremacist racist who attacked him for him correctly calling out Mama Joy being subsidized by the taxpayer when children are starving to death in the Eastern Cape, when government money is returned to the central government. To those racists and black supremacists who attacked him, they didn't attack me, but to all you racists and black supremacists, I will tell you right now that I have no problem whatsoever with Mama Joy being sponsored by an African sports apparel company. That's their stupid decision. That's their stupid choice. They are welcome to make that choice. That's the bottom line. So I have no beef with that. I'm sure that Ronaldo will have no beef with that. We'll talk about that after this program on Ronaldo Huz's program. I suspect neither one. I know I have no problem with it. If a private corporation wants to sponsor someone, as long as they're not doing it in a racist fashion, which this isn't, they want to sponsor Mama Joy. They think it's worth their time. They're trying to get some of the glitz and glim of her popularity. That's perfectly fine. The issue was taxpayers, not black women going to the FIFA World Cup or to the Rugby World Cup. But quite frankly, the woman knows nothing about the sports. It's comical that anyone would want her to be a brand ambassador unless you're trying to sell oversized moo-moo clothing for morbidly obese women. Perhaps that's what you want. If you sell clothing to morbidly obese women, then perhaps you might want her as a spokesperson. I'm just saying. Then you want to have her as a brand ambassador. Yes, the lady with the big arms and the gun, that was the one who fired a deputy mayor in the Western Cape. So yeah, so that's the bottom line with that. But I have no problem with Mama Joy. Reach out to you, sir. Not sure I used the right email. I'm not sure either. Who is that? Some bunny. I can't read that. It's so far away. Rehab bunny. Okay. Listen, folks, if you send me an email or WhatsApp, email especially though, you need to put in the title what your username is, because I don't, you're like, I sent you an email. I read emails from people and I take action. I don't know who it is. You give me a real name and I don't know that's you. Okay. How am I supposed to know people's username on YouTube? Some I know. Kathy Price. It's Kathy Price. You can figure that one out. Okay. Anyway, sounds like the mowers have finally moved away. They're quite annoying. It's hard for me to read that. I can't get the damn camera any closer because there's a table here, and I was trying to get closer so I can see, but trying to read from here, it's kind of hard. Royal AM have sponsored Mama Joy before. Okay, then why was the government paying for her to go? She's just making money off that. I did respond to somebody's email very quickly. Okay, I did. I think actually in your case, if I recall correctly, I sent some information about your case to someone in the U.S. government. Hopefully they'll take action. I can't promise they will. All I can say is that I've reached out. Now the sun's coming. I can feel it in here. The temperature's rising. Yeah, saw someone comment on Ronaldo's stream today. They must have. It's okay. No, screw that. You don't not put a criminal in jail because there might be potential riots. You have water cannons and saps prepared at likely protest locations. And then you arrest these scumbags. Oh gosh, it's really getting warm all of a sudden. You arrest these scumbags when they start their nonsense, their machinations. You do not kowtow to the mob. A government that bows to the mob is not a legitimate government. I know, I got the microphone this time, I remembered it. That's not a legitimate government. The government of Ireland is not a legitimate government. First off, they hate Irish, undermining the country. Second, come on, damn it. What's going on here? Second, they kowtowed to the fuel protest. They chickened out. So not a legitimate government. You do not bow to domestic terrorism. You stamp it out. That's what you do. Now, I'm not saying that the protests in Ireland were domestic terrorism, but they weren't very far from it. They're also ridiculous protests. These protests didn't happen when the price of petrol went up by 150, 200%, or 300% a couple years ago when Biden was president. They just ignored that, but now they can lay it all on Donald Trump and say, like, and for a couple weeks, the price goes up 20%. All right. So anyway, but the state is asking for a 15-year custodial sentence for Julius Malema, and I'm fine with that. Thank you for every just big cornet boots and all. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. So we haven't hit 300 viewers yet in the stream. That's kind of disappointing. I think I started this around 23 after, so it must be about 45 now. Blue really is your color, Kerma. Everybody said, okay, thank you for that. Yeah, so, well, blue, purple, pastels look good on me too. And here comes the lawnmower back. You may not hear him, but I can hear him. He's just behind me there. There he is, creeping into the picture, making lots of noise. See, the reason you can't hear him, these microphones are pretty good. They don't pick up stuff extraneous from a distance, which is nice. But unfortunately, because where I'm sitting, this table weighs like a metric ton. I can't move it. There's nowhere to move it to. It's a metal table. Cast wrought iron, I think it is. I really can't get the lighting correct on this. So you may not hear him, but I can't hear myself talk right now. So I mean, I could be slurring my words. I wouldn't know it. You know, I could be speaking in tongues. You never know. Anyway, so very distracting for me here. A fashion show. Is there a library book expository on a corner? What is EL? I don't know what EL is. So somebody's saying that on my community tab, someone in Dallas is asking for psychiatric intervention. I don't know about that. I'll have to end the lawnmower is so. And well, if I turn around, you'll really hear it. But with the microphone here, you're not going to hear it. So I will. I'll have to end this stream. Not yet, but when I end it, I'll be a little bit. When do you have you hit 300 viewers? I was hoping you hit 300. So, well, East London is where the trial, where the sentencing is. Your daughter's scared of me. Who said that? All right. Well, I'll look at it. Oh, well, chat. Okay. Where's it at? Is it on my video? Which video? You need to tell me, not my last video, because you guys say last video, but you don't know which the last video. Which video is it on? I won't have a lot of time to look for this. I'll take a look at it. So their case officer and 911 couldn't help, and they think I can help. That's interesting. I'll see what I can do, but I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath on this one. You know what I'm saying? Oh, East London. Thank you. Okay, now I forgot what the question was. East London. Yeah, I got a beef with the lawnmower man. That's like, what's his name? Sang that song to Shersby's. Do you know the Muffin Man? That's a great one. He just made that thing up. The community tab. That's what I thought. Somebody said video. Community tab is not a video. I'd be spending all day looking for that. Member for 13 months. Okay, cool. Thank you for your membership. Well, thank you for my interview with Biz News, Kathy Price. I always get attacked as a MAGA guy. No, I'm a conservative. We were here before MAGA. We'll be here after MAGA. Yes, I agree in making America great again or keeping America great, 100%. But that doesn't mean that I'm in the tank with everything. Okay, again, Professor G, I asked him repeatedly when he came up if he wanted to do lives, and he demurred. He didn't want to do it, Then he contacted me in the midst of my very busy schedule about a month ago and said, hey, can we do a live? And I said, sure, I'll be happy to do a live. When? He said Tuesdays, because that's the day you can do it. Well, I wasn't available on the Tuesday. I had to work college. And the next week, on the Tuesday, I was in Las Vegas. I wasn't available. And the next week, I was in the work college. And here's the next week, a month later, I'm in the work college. Next week, on Tuesday, I'll be driving home from Erie, Pennsylvania. So I won't be able to do it Tuesday. So perhaps the week after, in late April, we'll be able to do one, if he's still available. That's the plan. But he was reticent to do it for a long time. But it'll be the first one. So he never does live, so I'll host it. We'll do a live probably as long as he's available. Okay, they just shut the mower off. I don't know why. Anyway, you're welcome. No, it's a topic we talked about a long time. Also, it's time to do another one with Lily. I've been so busy. I don't know where she's at on this story, but we'll have to do one with Lily probably on the weekend because she's tied up working during the week. Well, Professor G is very circumspect about his sleep and very circumspect about his schedule. He doesn't just, oh, good God. I think that was a 350 Rand super chat from the person whose case I looked into. I can make no promises for you, but I can tell you that message did get through to somebody that hopefully will look at it. All right. So if we're talking about the message, the absolutely crazy nonsense that they sent you and about your case, then yeah, that really disturbed me. Sure, why the refugees haven't sent you a message, as they say, you met in person in question having. Nobody told me they had PTSD when I was in Dallas. If they did, I don't recall it. Now the weed whackers out here, yeah. Yeah, now the guy's out here with a weed whacker. I mean, what the hell? What the hell? I mean, come on, man. I feel like Joe Biden. Come on, man. All I got to do is get up and trip. I'll be Joe Biden. You ready? Okay, hang on, man. Oh, I'll be Joe Biden. Come on, man. Oh, yeah. Just like Joe Biden now. Maybe I'll be Dr. Evil. Can I get some frickin' sharks here? Frickin' sharks with lasers to bite these damn lawnmower guys? I mean, come on. What does a guy got to do over here to be an evil genius? Can I get some frickin' sharks to take these lawnmower guys out? And don't miss the weed whacker. Get over there and bite him. Baby shark, shark, shark. Baby shark, shark. Come on, man. They weren't here. They were over there. That's why I came here. Then they come here. Oh, my gosh. You just can't win, you know what I'm saying? There's two weed whackers. They're like rabbits, man. They're multiplying. Before you know it, there'll be 4 mowers and 5 weed whackers out here. Oh, dear gosh. My goodness. You can't make this stuff up. Can somebody give me a time hack? What time is it after the hour? Is it 40, 45, 50 after the hour? Oh, okay. I got to stop, guys. I got Ronaldo in a few minutes. Okay, that's going to wrap it up here. Oh, my goodness. I'll try to look that thing up on the channel real quick. All right, thank you all. Be sure to hit the like button if you don't mind. Only 183 likes. What's up with that? I mean, I gave you a Joe Biden impersonation. Doing a lot. What was that? Hang on. Hang on. A lot coming there. Sent you a mail. Okay, Reno. Okay. Yeah, it's not a weed eater. It's a weed whacker. Not like a hate wanker, but a weed whacker. Okay, that's going to do it. I'm off to listen to Ronaldo, or I'll be on Ronaldo. I'll see you guys later. Hit the like button. 212 likes. That's better. But that's a far cry from the 327 people currently here. All right, see you guys shortly.